Ba-da-bum. Hey everybody, hello. Welcome to another Monday night. I am Patrick and we are going to do some readings tonight. I'm just getting settled. I'm just getting set up. I had a work day. Well, I love having work that I love. I love having work that is play. There we go. Yeah. So I was doing readings all day today. So we're going to do just a 3-card pull tonight. Actually, I've been thinking about, just because I keep switching back and forth. I do readings every other Monday at Crescent Moon down in Tacoma. And then when I come home, it's usually I'm pretty tired. And, it's not so much from doing the readings as it is from spending, 6 hours or whatever on, ready to do readings. That I think is more tiring than anything else. It's actually doing the readings kind of fires me up. But so on the weeks so every other Monday, so I've been switching back, doing like 3 cards on the Mondays that I'd read all day, just to give myself that breathing space and stuff, and then switching back to 6 cards on the Mondays that I'm free. But I am thinking that going forward, we're just going to do 3 cards every week. That way I don't have to keep switching back and forth. And then I know what to expect and you know what to expect. And so there. Plus, I do tend to get a little wordy and maybe over-explain things a little bit sometimes. And if we're doing just 3 cards, I actually might have a little more time and allowance to do that. Whereas the 6 cards, by the time I get done explaining 6 cards, everyone's probably like, "Oh my God, does he ever shut up? I chose number 1, now I'm having to sit through all this other 6 cards and he's taking forever," whatever. So anyway, so we're going to do 3 cards. I'm just smudging them up. And so what we do, if you are new here, these are the cards I use. It's called the Medicine Card Deck. And each card has a different animal totem on it. And so it's like similar to doing tarot readings, only it's with the animal spirit guides. And so each animal has a different message, a different meaning. And because I'm a shaman, because I in some ways feel closer to the animal kingdom than I do to the animal kingdom, these just make a lot more sense to me. Plus, the cards are just a jumping off point for me. And I know I pretty much, just from doing this for so long, I have all the meanings, in the backlog of my brain and all of what the official meanings are. Yeah, I did, Marilyn. Is that what you call it, to bridge the cards? Like when you do that? Yeah. Anyway, so where was I? And so I know the meanings of the cards, like the textbook, the official meanings, but as a shamanic practitioner, as a shaman, that's just the that's just the jumping off point, because I connect with the spirit of the animal and get like, especially when I'm doing individual readings for people, like a full reading for someone, it's like I'll connect with the animals to find out what the unique and personalized message is for that person. And so tonight we are going to pull 3 cards, and all you have to do is choose a number between 1 and 3. Or you can pick 2 numbers between 1 and 3, or you can pick all 3 of them, because it is an abundant universe and you deserve everything that you desire. So I'm going to pull 3 cards. You get to choose 1 to 3 numbers, and then I will read off what each card. I'll pull them right here in front of me, and then I will tell you what they mean, what the messages that are coming through, and whichever card corresponds to the number that you chose, that is your message for the week. And that is why I do this on Monday, so we can start the week. I know I used to do it when I first started doing this. I was doing it in the afternoon so that people, especially people who, say, got laid off because of the COVID, like me, had something to look forward to at the beginning of the week, give you some guidance and give you something to find out what animals are with you that week, what their gifts are to help you through that week, what your lessons might be, and who was volunteering to help you get through the week. So that's why I do this on Mondays, and that's why I started doing this during the pandemic. And this is one of the highlights of my week. I look forward to this every week. I used to be so freaked out about doing live videos, and I was just like, woohoo! And now I do 2 videos a week. If you like this one, I also do a Facebook live video Wednesday nights when I'll do a live sacred pipe ceremony, where I set sacred space and I just invite you into just to sit in that sacred space, to connect with spirit in whatever way you like, whatever your personal way of doing that is. And I do the sacred pipe ceremony from the Native American pipe. I'm a pipe carrier, and it's one of the most sacred ceremonies that I know of, one of the most sacred spaces. And I do that purposely in the middle of the week so that people have a space to breathe, a space to exhale and just be. A time when they can sit in sacred space knowing that they're taken care of, and they can just let go and connect inside. So please join me Wednesday night at, what time do I do that? 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock on Wednesdays. Join me. I think you'll like it. I love doing it. It's awesome. And I'll talk more about that on Wednesday, because tonight we're reading cards. So I also have only had 4 hours of sleep last night, so I'm a little wackadoo. So bear with me. Thank you for your perseverance. And all right, so I have 3 cards in front of me. So choose a number. And if 1 was your card, if 1 is the number you chose, we got salmon. Salmon is about going home. Salmon is returning home, returning to your origin, and it's like, what's coming in right now is that you are already whole, you are already divine, you are already high frequency, you are a divine being in human form. And so a lot of times we get on these spiritual paths and we think we have to toil and we have to acquire knowledge and acquire experience and go up levels till we get to the top of the mountain where we can achieve enlightenment or whatever that is. But the secret is that's already right here. You already have that in your own heart. Your heart is your compass. In your heart, you're already home, and it's a matter of peeling those layers off, returning to your original state of grace, your original state of light and love. Do you need something? Oh, okay.
I want to listen, but my phone isn't letting me.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to listen to the real thing.
Awesome. So we are being filmed in front of a live studio audience tonight. My fiance is off to the side in the wings watching. So anyway, so salmon. When salmon shows up, it is a sign that not only are you heading home, but you are guaranteed that you are going to get there. And so what that does, because you know you're going to get home no matter what, everything between this point now and you're arriving home becomes an adventure. Because you know that no matter what happens between this point and that point, you're going to survive it. Somehow you are going to come through it. And so each bend of the river, instead of something to dread, or something that, oh my God, am I going to die kind of thing, it becomes, oh my God, it's an adventure. What's around the next bend? What new adventure am I going to get? What new challenge am I going to overcome? What new tool am I going to acquire, and new skills am I going to learn? It becomes excitement rather than dread, and for instance, when I was a kid, before I knew anything about creative visualization or manifesting or shamanism or any of those things, I was the oldest of 5 kids, and so I was the one that felt like I had the responsibility to watch over everyone else. And my mom would take us all out. Like the big thing was the state fair, the Minnesota State Fair, the biggest state fair in the nation. And so it'd be like 5 kids and a mom, and I would always hang back because I wanted to make sure no one wandered off and got lost or whatever. And so I would be like deathly afraid, like someone's going to get lost or I'm going to get lost. And Dee Dee, we're only doing 3 cards tonight, so just to let you know. And so I would be like freaking out. I loved going to the fair, but I would be freaked out about someone getting lost or me getting lost and not being able to find my way home. So what I started doing, and this is as a kid, like, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, something like that, I would picture myself in bed that night. And if I could visualize my bed, if I could feel the covers up around my shoulders, if I could feel the pillow under my head, then I knew that I was going to be safe, and that I knew that everyone was going to be okay, because at the end of the day, I was already in bed. And that's what salmon does. It's like you've already gotten through this. The rest is just a formality. And so that allows you to relax, because you know that no matter what comes up in front of you, you are getting home. Somehow, even the worst challenges, somehow you are going to come through them. All right? Another point about salmon, we have these weird ideas in the Western world, and I think it comes from our kind of that puritanical thing that we're raised with, that, you know, was the Puritans that came over, and so everything is work and toil, and life is supposed to be hard. And so we look at the salmon with this admiration because he's fighting the current. He's fighting against the river. He's going against the natural grain to get where he wants to go, like it's a show of will. Well, it's not will. It's actually salmon follows undercurrents beneath the river. You know, the river, the main river, is going in one direction, but underneath the river and along the sides there's little eddies and little whirlpools. Those are the currents that the salmon follows to get upstream. He's not just fighting, you know, with this blind, I gotta fight what's natural, I get to go for what's coming to me, whatever, kind of like, I'm not, okay, I won't go into politics. Anyway, and so we think that they're admirable because they're fighting the natural currents, or they're fighting for their individual, unique self, when actually their strength is that they see pathways that others don't. So looking from shore, we see these salmon, they're swimming upstream. We're like, whoa, they are so strong, they are so stubborn, and they're like fighting their way to what they want. And it's like, because above water, it looks like they're fighting the current. In the river, they're sitting in the quiet water, and you know, if you've seen them, you know, they'll find the quiet spot in a river, like maybe on, like just downstream from a log or a rock or something where the water is still, and they'll rest. And then there's like the little eddies where the water kind of comes in and spins around, and they will use that to slingshot out into the main stream to the next eddy. And they're like a pinball machine, you know, do 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 do, and they're like going from one thing to the next thing that's bopping them further upstream. And so if that's your card, don't worry about what anyone else is thinking. Don't worry how your path looks to others, because others will judge you as going backwards. People will think you're backwards, that you're crazy because you're going upstream. You're going against the grain. But what you're actually doing is returning home on these pathways that others don't see. It's kind of like that. There was a I don't know who said it, but there was this quote about something. I love quotes, but I'm really bad at quoting them. So, so bear with me. I butcher the quotes, but I kind of paraphrase them. But it was something along the lines of, those who couldn't hear the music thought those who were dancing were insane. Something like that. And so it's like, keep dancing. Keep following your path, no matter what anyone else thinks, because they can't see what you can see. They don't know what you know. And so follow your own pathways. And again, like, they jump up the waterfalls, right? They're using the eddies at the bottom, the whirlpools at the bottom of the falls, to slingshot themselves up and over. They're not doing it with their own strength. They're not doing it of their own volition. They are using those little places to carry them. It's slingshotting them up the falls. And they're helping, but it's a co-creative effort. But they are being carried, so that it's like they are not doing it on their own. And I just got something that I never got before. So when you have your sight, like when you have that sense, you're following your compass. The compass home, it's guiding you home. And when you answer that call, the universe supports you in getting there, even if it makes no sense to anybody else. The universe, why can't I think Thoreau? I think it was either Thoreau or Emerson, or one of those people that talked about. It might have been Joseph Campbell. So I told you I'm really bad at quotes. I love quotes, but I'm really bad. But about how when you believe, when you walk forward in confidence, that the world will create a door where before there was only a wall. And so it's about setting the intention of going home, setting your intention on the destination, and then through those eyes of knowing you're going to get there. And this is kind of like the whole gratitude thing with like the law of attraction and such. It's like when you're grateful, when you like pray in gratitude, thank you for getting me home. All of a sudden, because you by doing that, you're opening up to receive guidance. You're surrendering to receive guidance, to receive the help. And so that's when you start to see the little breadcrumbs going up the river, the little eddies in the stream. It's like, okay, I got to this one. Okay, there's one right there. So, okay, we're going to use this one to slingshot to that one. Okay, where's the the next one's just right there. And so it's like following the breadcrumbs of the universe to get you home. And I know a lot of salmon die on the way because they are being helped, they are being carried much of the way, but it is still a rigorous journey. And last year I actually found, I think it was last year, I found a salmon on the bank of the river dead. And so I was doing a pipe ceremony on the river, and so I had my tobacco along, and so I sprinkled the tobacco on grandfather's salmon, thanked him for his hard work and everything, and checked in to see, make sure that he was okay, make sure he had passed all the way, and I was like, I'm sorry you didn't make it home. And I heard really clearly in my head, we all make it home one way or another. So I'm not saying, don't take that the wrong way as in, that you're going to die or anything, but we all make it home. Sooner or later, we all make it home. And if this is your card today, then the universe is on your side. The universe is opening up invisible pathways to help you get where you are going. So you can relax knowing that your destination is a given and everything else is adventure. Enjoy the ride. Okay? All right. Number 2. If 2 was your card, you got Buffalo. Tatonka. Buffalo is abundance. Buffalo is, in a way, kind of an embodiment of Mother Earth. In that buffalo, like for the Plains Indians, buffalo was their lifeblood. Buffalo provided everything they needed. The shelter, their clothing, their food, their tools, everything came from the buffalo. And so their lives were interwoven with the life of buffalo. And so they saw it as a reciprocity. They would take care of the buffalo would take care of them. And so if this is your card, know that everything you need is being provided for you. That it might not, we think abundance, oh good, money, but abundance isn't just finances. Money is the byproduct of living in the flow of well-being. Like Abraham Hicks talks about, there is only one source. There's a source of well-being. It's not a source of well-being and a source of not well-being, and whichever one you're aligned with determines whether you have a good life or a bad life. there is only one source, and that is a source of well-being. And we either close ourselves off to it, or we open up and allow it to flow through us. And when we open, and again, like I was mentioned with salmon, and this seems to be a running theme for me lately, the watchword is surrender. Just like I was saying, like the journey back home, the journey back to your origin, the journey back to your original state of grace, it's already there. And it's surrendering to who you already are, rather than trying to put on appearances or putting on facades that make you look strong or make you feel powerful, because you're already you're an aspect of Creator. You are a facet of the divine. You are already all powerful. And when you live your life in that way, with gratitude, with open to receive, like counting your blessings, the universe, you open up to surrender to that flow, and then things flow in, whether it's money, whether it's a new car, whether it's clothes, whether it's friends or relationships or whatever. When you're in the flow, you want for nothing. Everything you need comes to you. And when you can live in that flow, you don't even have to ask. Things start coming to you before you even realize you need them, And it doesn't mean, this doesn't mean automatically, oh, I'm going to be rich, I'm going to be a millionaire, whatever. But it does mean that as you step through the world, staying present in the moment, everything you need in that moment is already available to you. And like, if what you need is information, all of a sudden someone will pop up, whether it's someone you know or just someone off the street, and they'll say something and be like, that's my answer. That is exactly what I needed to know right now. That is abundance. And so abundance, like they talk about currency, right? Money is a currency. That means it's a current, like a river. When you're abundant, it flows. If you're stingy or, scarcity minded, and you're hoarding things or hoarding money or whatever, it's out of a fear of losing that. And what you're doing is you're filling up your reservoirs, and you're not opening them up for more goodness to flow in. You can't hold on to something and yet have your hands open to receive something, right? It's like that old Zen story about, you can't grasp water. Water flows, and you try to grasp it, you can't. You can't hold on to it. The only way to catch water is to open your hands and let it flow in. You have to have open hands. You have to be open to receiving. So this is the heart of the buffalo. It's that open heart. Knowing, when you know that everything comes to you as you need it, or you know that when you need something, all you need to do is ask in gratitude, thank the universe for providing it, and the universe, then boom, synchronistically it shows up. That is being rich, because then you're not having to worry about your millions and what bank account they're in or whatever. It's when you move through the world with that grace, and that word grace keeps coming up in my head. But when you live in a state of grace, you start to notice the synchronicities. Everything, you'll think of something and boom, there it is. Or you'll think of somebody and boom, they're calling you on the phone. Or it's like, in those synchronicities that show you that that's what happens when you are open to the flow, and people like, okay, so my day job, my previous day job, I worked in a warehouse, and I'm not saying like, so kind of mundane people who weren't necessarily on a spiritual path per se, at least to the extent that we are, that if you're watching this, you probably are. And so like people, that would happen to people. They would encounter a synchronicity. They would think of someone and all of a sudden they called them. Or they would think of something and then it would show up. And it would freak them the heck out. It would be like, oh my God. And like, it would just freak them out. And I'm looking at that going, that's the way I live my life. I look for the synchronicities. If I need to know something, I'm like, thank you for sending the right person to teach me this. Boom, there they are. And I just take it in stride and know that that's the way, that is the natural unfolding of the universe. That is the natural way that things work. And when you move into the flow, those synchronicities happen. I mean, at least like a dozen times a day. It becomes a way of life, and you start to expect that and be grateful for it. It doesn't become this strange woo-woo, oh my God, there's something weird going on, you know. And it's like I did an interview a number of years ago for it was like an online radio station or something. I was talking about shamanism and what I do. And the guy asked me, so what is your mission in being a shaman? What are you trying to do? And just without even thinking about it, I heard these words coming out of my mouth. It was, I want to demystify shamanism. And he was like, how the heck are you going to do that? You're dealing with the spirits. How can you demystify something that is working with the spirits? And I'm like, because it's normal. Everybody has spirit guides. Everybody has access to that divinity, to those synchronicities. That is the normal way of life. And so if we can teach people to not be freaked out about those things, but to expect them and start living their lives in that way, then all that spiritual woo-woo becomes the natural way, the normal way of living. And think about the world we would live in if everybody knew that. Think about the world if everybody could trust their own intuition, who knew that everything they needed came to them easily and effortlessly. There would be no, like, you wouldn't have the greed we have. There wouldn't be the power struggles. There wouldn't be the fighting for resources. Because it's not pie. There's enough for everybody. And when we know that we have everything we need and that everything we need flows into our lives, then we don't have to be going out and trying to power over and knock other people out of the way so we can claim things and make sure we have this full reservoir in case something bad happens. The true strength of abundance comes when you know that everything you need comes to you. And it kind of fits with what I was talking about with salmon, the first card, because when you know you're going to get home, then it becomes like, ooh, how am I going to get there? I can feel myself. I know I'm going to get there. I can see it. I can taste it. I can feel it. So how am I going to find the bus fare to get there? How am I going to, an old friend I haven't seen in a number of years just show up and say, hey, do you need a ride? Or, it's an opportunity. All of a sudden, you think of a friend that you haven't talked to for years, like, hey, you want to hang out and go get a coffee, and then maybe you could give me a ride home or what? It's like things just happen, chuk, 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 falling into place. That is what true abundance is. So know that it's not okay, and know that you deserve that. You didn't come here to struggle and to strive, to try to survive, to just get by. You came here to thrive. This is an abundant universe. This is a friendly, abundant, and safe universe. And the universe wants you to succeed. And when you have those desires, those passions within you that you want to fulfill, that is a gift of the universe. That is your compass. That is your direction home, is to fulfill those desires. And there's so many, especially like kind of fundamental religions that like tell you to deny your desires, deny fun, deny joy. But those are our compass. That is our compass to find our way home. Those things that you desire to do, those things that just light you up, that make your heart sing, that is your compass to get home. And that is, when you have that desire for something, that is proof that whatever that something is exists, because you couldn't feel the desire. You couldn't have there would not be a space for it in your energy field if it didn't exist out there to fill that space. You wouldn't have any awareness of it. You wouldn't have any concept of it. Okay. I'm going to take a moment here. I think you'll still be able to see me, but not. Yay! So, there we go. And we're back. Okay. So, know that you deserve everything that you desire. That it's not a bad thing to want things, to desire things. You might want to look below that desire to see what's at the root of it, to see what the root desire is. Like, what is it that you really want? Because underneath all those desires, whether it's for new shoes or a car or a relationship, underneath all those desires is the desire to be whole, the desire to be loved. And when you know that you live in a loving universe, when you know that your essence is the very essence of love, then again, what is the word? That cancels out greed and want of power, because you no longer need. What it does, it plugs you in, aligns you with spirit. The source of your abundance is creator. It's spirit. It's not anyone out here. It's not a lateral thing. It's not horizontal. It's upward. And so when you know that the universe works for you, when you align to spirit, then everything you want or need comes from spirit. It shows up in the outside world, but that's the result. That is the expression of the abundance that is inward. The outside world is only a reflection, a mirror of what's on the inside. And so when you know on the inside, when you're connected, aligned with spirit on the inside, that abundance shows up outside. It's not coming from your boss. It's not coming from your business. Your business, your boss, they are reflections of the inner abundance that you have when you're in alignment with Creator, with Great Spirit, whatever you want to call it. And so it's like when we know that, when we know it's like one lane, no waiting. You are connected to divinity. You are divinity. Then you don't have to try to finagle your way through and weasel things away from others, or get there first so that you can get the best deal, because if that deal is meant for you, no one else is going to get there first. That you are always in the right place at the right time. And no one, if something is meant for you, no one can get in the way, because they are not the source of your abundance. So open up your heart, open up, surrender to the universe. Know that there is more than you can even imagine. And know that the universe is friendly and wants you to succeed. It wants to fill those desires, because the more those desires we fill, the more whole we get, the closer to home we get, you know. And like I said, I'm not talking desires like sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I'm talking about the things underneath those of wanting to feel whole, to feel loved, to know who we are. It's that alignment to spirit that we are desiring. And once you have that, everything comes to you. So the universe is trying to provide everything you need. So open up your arms and receive it. Okay? So that was number 2. Number 3. If 3 was your card, we got the frog. Hi-ho! Yay! I told you I'm running on 4 hours of sleep, so patience, please. Frog is about purification. If that's your card, pay attention to where you spend your time, where you spend your energy, and if any like relationship or job or whatever situation, whatever people you hang out with, if they are toxic, it's time to let go of that. It's time to find another pond, because in a way, Frog is kind of the patron saint of empaths. They don't drink water because that osmosis. It soaks into them. And if you're an empath, you understand that metaphor, because when you're out in public, you just soak in all the energies that are around you. And so it's time to, rather than playing the victim like, oh my God, I can't go into public because I always get these feelings and that. I mean, you still might want to, how do I say it? It's one of those kind of dichotomy, that kind of paradox, but when you realize that it's your superpower, that it's a gift, because you can learn, you discern what's your energy and what is someone else's, then it's not such a big deal to go out in public. Although being sensitive, being an empath, my guess is you probably I still don't like going to the malls. I never go to the mall if I can help it. So you still want to avoid those things, but it's not a debilitating thing. You can do it if you need to, because you understand your boundaries. You know where you end and the other people start. And that is a superpower, because that is your diagnostic tool for how to help others, how to heal others, because you know what they're dealing with. And when you say, okay, I feel that's not my energy, but I understand it, then you can come from that place. You disown that. You can let go of it, let it go back to the other person. But then you have that diagnostic of how to help heal that person, or how to be of aid to that person. Anyway, but as I said, Frog is about, you need, if you're having to go out into the bigger world, into public, etc., it's of paramount importance to have your own pond. You need to have your own place that is just your energy. It's like your superhero lair. You need to have a lair. You need to have some place that is purely you, purely the things that feed you. The frog, because they are so sensitive to the environment, they have to have clean, pure water. They are so sensitive that when something is wonky in the environment, the frog is the first thing that scientists look at, because they are the first ones that will show signs of an imbalance. And so when you're feeling out of balance, when you're feeling wonky, that feeling, rather than being something that you need to fix, is a sign that you need to move. You need to It's not, the feeling itself doesn't need to be fixed. I'm trying to figure out how to say this, how to explain it. I always get this sense of what I want to say, and then I have to like unravel it into words, and it's really hard sometimes. Like I've mentioned before how I went through a long period of extreme anxiety and panic attacks. And one thing I learned, especially toward the end of that period, was that when I went into a panic attack, there was nothing I could do to get out of it. Again, like my other two cards tonight, I surrender to it. It's like, okay, I know what's going on. There's nothing here to fix because I didn't do anything wrong. And so I would have to surrender, know that I was familiar with it, I recognized it, I understood what was going on, and I knew it was temporary. So when you start to feel that unbalance, that wonkiness, it's not, okay, what needs to be fixed, not looking outward to see, okay, this is causing this pain, or this is causing this feeling. Just that sense of wonkiness is the sign that you need to move to a different pond, if that makes sense. It's not that sense of wonkiness has to be fixed or that anything in your environment needs to be fixed to fix that wonkiness. It means you don't belong in that situation wherever you are. You don't belong with those people or whatever situation it is. It's time to move to a place that is healthy for you, because when you're feeling wonky, and we all go through wonkiness, right? You're not going to live through life without some wonkiness. We all have challenges, and that's how we grow. But I'm talking about if you're drowning in imbalance, if you're drowning in that wonkiness, if you can't find your feet, then that situation doesn't need to be healed. You just need to move to a different situation. Like there's a saying that it's not that where you find water, you find frog. It's that where you find frog, you find water. Because frog, if one pond is toxic, if one pond is poison for them, they will hop to find another pond that is healthy for them. So whatever situation you find yourself in, whatever people you're around, if thinking about being with someone kind of makes your stomach drop or just kind of makes you tighten up, then either there's something in that relationship that needs to be cleared, that needs to be purified, but if that doesn't work, it's like you need to let go of that relationship or that situation, whatever it is. When frog comes up, it's time to purify. It's time to let go of all those things that make you feel small, that make you feel powerless, that make you feel unworthy. Because, like I said, you are worthy. You deserve everything that you want. And anything that tells you you're anything less than love, anything less than divine light, is not true. And so it's moving to that environment, not just to survive, not to just get through, not just for R&R. It's like you need to have a place you live that is not only gives you a rest from the real world or whatever, man's world, that's what I always call it, but a place that feeds you, that nurtures you, that makes you stronger, not just getting by so you can go back out into the salt mines. You need a place that invigorates you. You need an environment that feeds you, that helps you to get back to who you truly are, that helps you to go home. Oh, wow. that just hit me. Salmon is going home. Frog is home. Frog is the pond that nurtures you, that reminds you of who you truly, truly are. Salmon is the journey there, knowing that everything that comes up is an adventure, that you're already whole, and that you can't help but get there. Sooner or later, you'll get there. Even if it's over lifetimes, you know, in the bigger picture of things, through the eyes of spirit, through the eyes of the divine, time is an illusion. And so what's one or two more lifetimes, right? And I know that's not pleasant to hear when we're in a body, but you are guaranteed to get there. The universe has your back. And like I mentioned with salmon, the journey home is a co-creative effort. It's you and spirit. And ultimately there is no separation because you are spirit. You are all of that divinity. But as a spirit in a physical body, our job is to set that intention, set that destination, and then start to move toward it. And it's as we move, as we hop along, finding the ponds, the water source that is clearer and purer so that it feeds us, then the universe provides those ponds, provides those whirlpools that help springboard us forward for our highest good. So, whew. So there you have it. 1, 2, 3. Again, if you came in late, missed something, number 1 was salmon. Number 2 was buffalo. So this is going home. This is returning to your origin, returning to that original grace of spirit that you are. Buffalo is abundance. It's opening to the flow of abundance. It's not about hoarding, stopping the flow. It's about opening to the flow, because when you have the flow going through you, through your life, everything comes to you. And then we have frog number 3, which is purification. It's about purifying your life, releasing those things that don't feed you, releasing those things that are toxic, whether it's food or people or situations. It's finding that place, the pond, where it is pure and simple, and it nurtures you and it reminds you of who you are. All right? So that is the reading for tonight. Thank you for joining me. I always look forward to this. I always enjoy. I know I don't really interact much with the comments and stuff because I get way too distracted if I'm trying to do the reading and then I notice someone says something and I respond and I forget where I am. So I apologize for that. I know some people do live and they're like constantly talking to the other people. But that doesn't work for me, so that's part of my purification. It's like, I gotta focus. Anyway, so thank you for joining me. If you enjoyed this, share the video, invite your friends next week, and consider getting a full reading with me. When I do a full reading for someone, it's like a 5-card spread, and it's not generalized like this one is so much, because like I said, I can tune into the spirits of the animal and get the more personalized, appropriate messages for you and whatever you are going through. And you can do that by checking out my website at perchingwolfstudios.net, seeing what other shamanic services I offer. You know, this is a really strange time, unprecedented time in this world, and I am here to support you. I am here to help be those little eddies in the river to help you springboard, find the next breadcrumb to go forward. So, and it is my deepest joy to be able to help people too. That is my job, is to empower others. And so whatever I can do to do that is my deepest joy. So thank you for joining me. Like I said, if you're interested, Wednesday nights I have the Sacred Pipe Ceremony at 7 o'clock Pacific time. So join me there. Oh, and also, if you are interested in what I do and what I talk about in shamanism, I'm actually tomorrow night, the 12th, right? Yes, the 12th, I am teaching an Introduction to Shamanic Journey class. And so it's $50 for a 3-hour class, and most of the time, just like this, I can't stop talking, so it might tend to go over a little bit. But, you know, I would love to have you along, introduce you to shamanism, kind of the history of shamanism, why it's pertinent today, what a shaman is and what a shaman isn't. And then I also teach you the technique that the shamans have used for over 100,000 years to connect with their spirit guides, to get direct guidance. Like I was talking about before, that alignment with spirit. You get to meet your power animal. So, and once you do that, then it's like the world is your oyster. That's it. I took a class like this when I began my shamanic path, and it changed everything. So it can change your life. It can be the beginning of something bigger. But so check that out as well on my website or on my Facebook page, and sign up. Let me know that if you want to take that. Also, if that is not enough for you, a week from Thursday, I'm beginning a 1 full year course on shamanism. We meet once a month for 3 hours, and we basically follow the wheel of the year around for a year on the shamanic path. And so I show you different techniques to journey, different places we can journey to, different questions you can ask when you're journeying, who you can go to meet, blah, 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 all of that stuff for an entire year. So if you feel called to the shamanic path, I would love to have you along. This is the 4th year I'm doing it. Every year it gets better than the last. And so I would love to have you along for that. And other than that, I believe that is our Facebook Live for the night. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for your perseverance of listening to me prattle on. This is one of my joys that fills my heart up. So thank you for listening, for hearing me and joining me. And please join me next week. And again, if there's anything I can do to support your journey, let me know. Okay? So until next time, know that I love you, that I see you, and that I honor you. So take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful week. This will be posted on my Facebook page as well as my YouTube channel. So if you need a reminder later in the week of what's going on with you, or which animal is volunteering to help you, you can listen to that again. Or you can choose a different number later in the week and see what that card means and give you another extra little boost. So anyway, you can watch those anytime on my Facebook or on my YouTube channel. So take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. And until I see you next, go shining. All right? Be well. I will see you soon. Bye.